talking to your butt and like that. I just came back to work and it's like that. Everything's coming back to me because it's like that. And it's like that. I don't have no raps again. Not yet. Not like that. What's up, y'all? I miss y'all. I did. I miss y'all. But I didn't think I could come back until I was completely everything. I had surgery while I've been away. I moved finally. Everything was a nightmare. I don't even want to relive it. I don't even want to talk about it no more. I talked to my best friend about it. You know, it was a nightmare, y'all. But we got through it. I don't even want to relive it and talk about it. I'm not going to talk about it. Let's just say I will not be moving. Knock on wood. For a long time, I promise you, I cannot. And moving during surgery, why? You know, it's not how I planned it, but just that's how it ended up. I spent a week in my mother-in-law's house, and I'm telling you, me and my husband was old people central, but we got out of there. It was good I was there. I mean, everything, the one thing that I learned this week, and full of adversity week, this past month has been full of adversity. Ever since I decided to put my house up for sale, when I decided to put my house up for sale, I knew that I was going to go through some crap, but I didn't know it was going to be like this. I promise you, I did not. But I survived it by the grace of God. When look, I have total brain fog, but I will say that what I learned, because I know that all things work for the good of those that love the Lord, but what I learned through this whole situation is that realtors suck. No, that it was always a good side. It was always something, even though it was a lot of negative, it was always something positive. Staying at my mother-in-law's house just really made me sit down so I can heal. I didn't have nothing else to do there but sit down. My mother-in-law's so cute, so I was given Oxy. This is always so funny to me. I was given Oxy after my surgery, and she was just trying to keep me from becoming like a pillhead. She's just like, don't take those. She would be like monitoring me to make sure I didn't become a pillhead. I thought that was so cute. Mother-in-law, I'm off the Oxy. So I'm off all pain medicine for real. I'm just free balling it out here. No, but just being at her house, being around so many people helped me out. So many people looked out for me, family, friends, and that was good. That was refreshing because I'm normally the one that's always, you know, looking out for people, which I love being that. Who don't want to be in charge of everything, in control of their destiny? These past 2 weeks was a week that I was not in control of anything, and I really had to lean on God big time. And I did. It was some tears, it was some anger, it was everything, but God worked it out in the end. He definitely did. Everything has worked out so beautifully. Everybody's happy. Just so many things went on. I got to spend a lot of time with my family, shall I say, and a lot of time just, you know, reflecting. Shout out to my husband. He's been really great, you know, even though sometimes I wanted to kill him with my little cane that I got. But we made it through. We still love each other very much. Shout out to him, and just, man, we grind it out as usual. If you ever got to go through something, man, make sure you got somebody on your team, whether it's husband, best friend, or family, that can ride with you, because you're going to need that. It's very important when you go through things in life that you got somebody that you can be with, talk to, encourage you. You know, you encourage yourself, of course, but you also need that support, man. But I'm just glad it's over, and I'm glad I'm back to, I'm still healing, but I'm getting back to normal. I feel pretty good. I really do. It has staples and everything. They got removed, so I'm able to be more mobile. And yeah, if y'all see me hardly breathing, I was hardly breathing before my surgery. Now I'm like really hardly breathing. So that's because. So let's get into this news. And I haven't looked at the news in a while because my life has been hot topics and news. So I hadn't had a chance. And I got so many story times to play for y'all because, one, I'm trying to see how much I can talk because I've not been long-winded talking in a while. But let's get into this news. Let's see what we got here. Did Trump say states have the right to monitor punish women over abortion, as VP Harris said? Probably not. I don't know. Doesn't care enough. Young boy dies in Texas floodwaters as authorities make more than 200 rescues across the state. It's flooding bad down there in Texas. There's going to be an Eta Aquarius meteor shower, if you guys are interested. Nicolas Cage and his son Weston, 33, is being investigated by police for allegedly attacking his mother and leaving her with a black eye. Oh, not Nicolas Cage, but his son. Okay, why y'all put Nicolas Cage in it? That man, 33. A toddler went missing for 2 days until the veterinarian checked her pit bull. Randy Travis gets his voice back in a new Warner AI music experiment. I used to love me some Randy Travis. Planners nuts recalled after discovery of potential fatal Planners, y'all can't never get it right. And Planners got some really good peanuts, but they stay with the contaminations. Senator Mark Kelly, Carrie Lake's rhetoric could result in people getting hurt or killed. Don't know what she said. Biden racist clock on health regulations with an eye on potential Trump return. Raven Simone begs the internet trolls to stop sending death threats to her wife. So, I watched a little bit of this I can speak to. So, Raven's wife, she swears like she's never seen Raven in a lot of stuff. And a lot of her fans is like, how can you not know, like, some of Raven's stuff? And fans is just really mad about it and attacking the wife. But, I don't know. It's kind of odd to me that your wife, like, even my husband, like, I am totally not interested in none of the stuff he likes. Like, let me not say that. But I do know what my husband likes. Like, I know he likes Godfather, but I totally hate watching that movie. But I've watched it with him before, and I know he likes things that, you know, I'm not totally interested in, but as my spouse, I would be aware of it. And totally, if my husband was on a TV show in the past, I'd watch it all just to see him. But, you know. Atlanta police hoist 6 illegal squatters from a $500,000 home after stealing a neighbor's car. Atlanta got it bad with the squatters. Mexican authorities reveal bizarre reason why they believe Australian Americans were murdered on surfing vacation. Alright, let's get to some other news, y'all. Like I said, I've been out of the news loop. I really don't know what's going on. 3 bodies found in Mexico have been identified as 2 Australians and 1 American who were killed in a carjacking while on a surfing trip. Oh yeah, that's what they were just talking about. Scroll through social media these days and you'll likely see a video of a crispy, flaky roadie bite. Not interested. An unfortunately long list of parents have lost their children to sextortion and cyberbullying. President Biden will soon sign a bill into law that will modernize how child sex abuse material is stored and reported. A lot of rap beef diss tracks. Actually, that's why I opened up that song with Like That, because that's one of the diss track beats. Madonna's free concert at Copacabana Beach turned Rio de Janeiro's vast stretch of sand into an enormous dance floor. Copacabana. The 4-minute music video for Washed Out single's latest. I don't even know who that is. Former Los Angeles Laker point guard Darius Morris died at 33. Dang. I hope it wasn't nothing crazy. Diver died after a vehicle crashed into an outer perimeter gate of White House. Driver died. Look, the latest round of Gaza ceasefire talks in. They've been talking about ceasefire, and I done been through surgery and everything, and they still ain't ceased this fire. I done moved, I did everything. Men whose fitness level improved by 3% or more annually over several years, 35% less likely to develop prostate cancer. Workout mini. New York City Department of Corrections has temporarily suspended the use of body cams after employees suffer burns and smoke. Sure, that's why y'all want to take them off. At least 7 people have been injured in Long Beach, California shooting late Saturday. Let's see what else is up here, y'all. A lot of these college protests they still yapping about. Alright, let's see what I liked. I liked a lot of crazy stuff on this app. Why's Tom Brady trending? Tom Brady. Let's see what he said.
Kardashian, thank you so much for being here. I know Kim was terrified to be here tonight. Not because of this, but because her kids are home with their dad.
Wowza. Was that supposed to be funny? I don't know about that. Let's get into what I liked. Rihanna's still selling y'all that Savage Fenty. Alright, let's see, what did I like? Alright, a Burger King employee filmed herself stealing customers' debit cards. After this, y'all need to put all the debit cards outside the restaurant, because this is trash. This was really sad. So this 6-year-old passed away a couple days after his dad was making him run on this treadmill. It was so terrible.
And you're going to see Corey fall. At some point, you're going to see Christopher go over to that treadmill and speed it up. And you're going to see Corey fall. And you're going to see him pick that boy up 6 times. And 6 times put him back on the treadmill. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to like him. And I don't care if you like him. When you see that video, you're going to be hot.
So I'm not going to play it because it's so long. It's 2 minutes of this, and the boy died, and it's just sick, man. He died of, like, trauma to his heart. Man, what kind of sick person is that, man? Just sick. Dude posted a bad review on a restaurant in Google, and the owner sent him a Google invite to get into a fist fight.
Calendar invite for this Friday called Parking. I left a negative Google review for this restaurant, and now the owner wants to fight me this Friday. And how do I know that? Well, he sent me a Google Calendar invite for this Friday called Parking Lot Beatdown Session. In the description of the event, parking lot, food will be served, knuckle sandwiches. How do you work at a restaurant and misspell the word sandwiches? So this weekend, my friend and I want to try out new places to eat. So we find this place on Google, all right? 4.3 stars, 7 reviews. We get there, place smells like shit, all right? But we're like, it's one of those places where they focus only on food and nothing else. We're like, okay, bet. So we order and we get our food, and I'm telling you right now, it was unedible. Tastes like shit. You could not eat it. I wouldn't even feed this shit to my ex. But me and my friend, we're not confrontational people, right? So we just asked the waiter, can we get our check? And he's like, oh, you guys didn't touch your food. Is everything all right? We're like, yeah, it seems like we weren't that hungry. He knew we were lying. So he goes in the back, and next thing you know, 10 seconds later, this 6'8", 250-pound NFL linebacker comes out and comes up to us. He's like, oh, you guys didn't like the food I cooked? And then me and my friend were like, it was good. It just didn't mesh well with our taste buds. This This dude goes into a 2-minute long Dr. Doofenshmirtz background story on how he had a vision to open up this restaurant when he was in jail. He finally got out and opened it up 3 months ago, and no one's complained since. And he started talking about how it wasn't his cooking, maybe our taste buds just weren't enriched enough and cultured enough to appreciate good food. At that point, he's not disrespecting me, he's disrespecting my mom. Because these taste buds were cultivated by my beautiful mother's cooking. You can't say that to me. And the fact that no one's complained in the past 3 months is probably the fact that you look like Black Thanos. One snap and they're gone to the shadow realm. So next thing you know, me and this guy are going back and forth for the next 2 minutes, and he says something very rude to me. And I'm no bitch. So I'm about to be like, hey, you're gonna have to see me outside. But my brain tells my mouth to say, hey man, I'm a #civilian. I want no smoke. And then he says, of course you didn't want smoke with me. Are you stupid? Then walks away. So me and my friend are leaving the restaurant. I'm thinking to myself, I got bitched. The entire time I'm thinking to myself, I got bitched. What am I gonna do? Am I gonna get some eggs at Eggs restaurant? No. I have my bad ankles. I'm a target in jail. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write a negative Google review. And guess what? I wrote it, and it was beautifully well constructed, and I triple checked that shit. So a couple hours after posting, I get a response, and it says, if you're the individual I had a disagreement with, please contact this email address. I'm willing to give you a $100 gift card to a store of your choice. Contact me ASAP. So you know what I do? Motherfucker, I email him. So I say, hello, I'm the individual who left a negative review and had an unpleasant experience at your establishment. I was contacting in reference to the gift card. And you know what he says to me? He says, I knew your broke ass was going to message me. I'm not giving you shit. Keep your shitty reviews to yourself. And then literally at 3:46 a.m. he sends me the Google. How are you mad in the middle of the night?
That little dude, he's funny, but he seemed like he could get beat up a lot. Because he just, I mean, that restaurant was probably really terrible, but... dude got a penitentiary. He's trying to make a restaurant. But this little boy looked like he get beat up a lot. So this hawk shocked the kitten. I don't know. Let's see. Like, man, I can't get to this dude. Biden was shaking an imaginary hand in Tampa, Florida. I really don't know what Biden was doing. He old, that's all I know. I don't know. I got so many story times, y'all. I don't know if I want to stay on this. Let's go over to IG, see what they got going on. Is this a Kim Kardashian roast or something? I don't want to hear no more. Girl. Really, all the news might be about these diss tracks. So let me hop over to Reddit, because like I said, I got so many story times. I gotta hurry up and get to that. But I have not read Reddit in forever. This is fun to be back in the things I don't know what's going on. It's been a while. These are stupid. Let's see what MIVA Ho got going on. I might just hop into my story times if ain't nothing, because I ain't doing too much reading tonight, y'all. husband that if we don't move, then we will end up divorcing because him and the wife next door make me incredibly uncomfortable. I know hormones probably play a role here, but I'm not sure if I'm overreacting. My husband and I moved back here in June in 2023, and he soon became super close with the couple next door to a point where every single day we're being invited out on the boat or over the barbecue with them. It bothered me a great deal, honestly, because every time I said I didn't want to go, my husband would pretty much force his hand and guilt me into going, and I was pregnant and simply didn't want to be around anyone. He would say, well, I want to go, but if you don't with me, then it'll look like I'm a bad husband. The wife next door was also pregnant. But there's been this buildup of stuff that bothers me a lot, and yes, I have communicated it. Like last year when we were on the boat, we stopped off at the lake, and one of my husband and the other husband went in. They asked me and the wife if we wanted anything. She asked for like 4 or 5 things. I asked for one specific soda because I was craving it. When they came back, I found out that my husband had bought the other wife everything she requested. And why didn't her husband buy it? And he didn't even get what I wanted. And then, let's go down. We'll take their dog out, keep an eye on the kids, and she can go to the store. But I've literally taken 10 showers without the baby since I gave birth. Pretty much her husband's been helping the wife next door. Like I said, I've communicated with him and it bothers me. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up. You need to check the wife and the husband next door. Put them all and just check them. You ain't got to move. You don't want to move. You don't want to be like me. Moving is worse. But check all them. Check them, and if they don't change, then it's time for the big D, divorce. But no, moving. And listen, moving's worse than divorce at this point. Somebody said cheating is irrelevant. He's literally taking the attention away by being like, well, I'm not cheating on you, so you should be grateful. Stop going over there. If it makes him look bad, then yada yada. Yeah, girl, just check them. I know I'm not happy. Go over there and check them. Beat on the door. Get you a cane like I got and beat on that door. It'll make a world of difference. Alright, let's get into these story times, y'all.
Much to catch up on. So y'all know I went on the date last Sunday. Went down there, I took a lift to go meet him because I wasn't going to drive because parking's only valet. Y'all know how my car be tripping. So I get to the restaurant. I get there, go in, tell the person his name for the reservation. She was like, oh, they're already seated. Mind you, he had told me he was parking and he wasn't in the restaurant. I was like, oh, okay. I go around the corner. I see a man sitting at a table with shades on, a man purse on, just lean back. I'm like, hell, is he dead? And me having a delayed reaction, I'm just like, hey. He's like, oh, I won't be ordering dessert. I'll be eating you. All right. Still knowing I should leave, knowing I should have left immediately, I'm like, why didn't you tell me you were here? Oh, because if you weren't what I wanted to see, I was going to leave. Y'all, mind you, I could smell the liquor coming from him. So, in true Stacy fashion, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I put my one finger up like I was in church, and I left. Do y'all think he gave a damn and did not text me later on that night and say, hey, me and my homeboys are having drinks, you should join us? I blocked him, but forgot to block him on here. So the next day, he's like, please give me your address so I can send you flowers. Blocked him on there too. I couldn't believe this shit had happened. But I was like, in the spirit of continuing today, I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm going to go back on the app. I'm going to schedule a date with the other man that I was talking to. Went out with him on Thursday. When I tell y'all I like this man, liked with the ED on the damn end. Let me tell you what happened with him. So we have
Everybody can do a series on these day naps, man.
Why did I just have to walk out on a date? Okay, I'm home. Story time. So I needed to just do a Momo today, as in May 3rd, a couple hours ago. And he was like, oh, let's meet up. And I'm thinking he wants to meet at a place, hang out, not like a date maybe, because you said meet up. He was like, oh no, we can just meet at, the grocery store or something, and we can just talk for a little bit, because I'm about to leave work, but I'm not really off the clock. I'm like, okay. Okay, cool. So I told him a place to meet, and I told him to meet
food or whatever. So I'm like, that's a neutral place. It's public. I don't know this man. So, so I tell him where to meet. He calls me, and he's like, oh, I'm here. I don't see no benches. Well, hello. How you doing? Hey, I've reached the destination. Where are you? Because I don't see the benches. No, he went straight. Yeah, I don't see no benches. I was like, oh, yeah, if you just come in, as if you're going into the store, you'll be able to see them. He's like, I don't see them. I was like, well, there's 2 entrances, so if you go on the other side, I don't see no benches. I was like, yeah, if you just act like you're going to the store, I don't see them. So he finally makes his way out of the car, and he's like, so we hug or whatever, and he's like, yeah, if you would have just told me this, this, and this, I would be able to find it. And I was like, well, I told you to just walk as if you're going to the entrance, you'll be able to find it. Well, you should have just told me this. I was like, well, it doesn't matter, because we're here now, so let's go sit. This pimple gotta go. Okay, so we're sitting down. I can already feel a little animosity, but I'm just like, let's just chill, let's just talk. And we started talking, talking about life, chopping it up, talking about what we do for work. And he actually works for the same company as me, but totally different departments. And he works in sales, and he was like, yeah, sales is just like, really, it's a lot of work. Like, there's a lot of men in my field, so there's really no females. Females don't have enough patience to do it, so yeah, I don't really meet a lot of females in my job. What? He's like, sales is just a different beast. Like, not a lot of women can do it. Y'all ain't got enough patience. As if I didn't do sales for 8 years. But go off, sir. He's like, yeah, y'all don't got enough patience. And I was like, well, I work in HR, and it's interesting that it's a lot of women, and we have enough patience to deal with people. So I asked him, hey, you've been down here 4 years. Have you made any new friends, down here? He goes, well, you can't call everybody your friend. Is that what I asked you? No. I was like, yeah, but have you made any new friends? He's like, well, you can't call everybody your friends. Like, I got acquaintances and people I talk to. Have you made any friends? If you don't got friends, just say that. And he's like, he's just stuck on this, can't call everybody your friend. Basically, he's like, yeah, I met a few friends. I got a few friends. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I was like, yeah, you just got to meet the right people and you'll be able to find friends. He was like, that phrase doesn't even make sense. Meet the right people. What do you mean? I was like, yeah, he's like, what is the right people? I was like, well, someone that's interested in the same things you're interested with, has the same goals, values, whatever. I think that's right people. He's like, yeah, that doesn't even make sense. I was like, well, I've been able to find great friends.
Girl. Y'all had a date at a grocery store and you arguing with this man about sentences? No.
So I was at Kroger and I saw this older guy wiping down his car with what looked like McDonald's napkins, and I was staring at him for a little while because I was thinking, like, what the fuck is he doing? And then he told me to roll my window down, and he yelled, mind your fucking business, bitch. And I was like, true. Like, I understand. And I fucking drove away. I rolled the window up and drove away. So
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Old and cool.
This is part 2 about the Tamika. If y'all haven't heard of the story with Tamika Houston, let me just tell y'all. So, boom, y'all, Tamika was 24 years old, and around 2004, she ended up disappearing. Now, she just graduated from nursing school, and all of a sudden, the family haven't heard nothing from her. They said, okay, it was cool to not hear from Tamika for days, but for weeks? Come on now. After a week or two not hear from her, her auntie said, hell no, let me call the police, because something ain't right. They called the police, next thing you know, the police started searching her house. They said, okay, listen, Tamika kinda out here, but all her doors unlocked in her house. So they're like, hell no, this is not like her at all, for real now. They started putting missing flyers up for Tamika. Now they still looking for her, but then police like, okay, let's go to the hospital, let's look if we see some files. Now they looking at the files around June, because I told y'all she went missing around June. They like, hold on, it was a call the same day she went missing saying it was a body in a lake. They go to the lake, they talking about some, it ain't nobody. Now they try to trace the call. Why was off a burner phone? Now police like, somebody is trying to trap us to throw us off, like something ain't right. So So then family get to telling them, like, okay, listen, she got an ex named Terrence. They just ended up breaking up. They say it was a horrible breakup. He put his hands on her, all that. They get to talk to him. He willing to help them. He like, okay, listen, I'm gonna try to help y'all as best as I can. They can't find no evidence. They like, okay, it ain't Terrence. Why, like a week later, they get a call saying they found her car. So cool, they get to the car or whatever. They found in her car, y'all, was somebody's keys, and it wasn't her keys. They go to all the little locksmiths. They like, okay, listen, who keys are these? One of the locksmiths like, hey, listen, that's the key to this apartment. Now, okay, cool, they get to this apartment. It's so many people that stay in this apartment. They try everybody's door. None of them working. But then they go to the basement. Why I work for the basement? So they go to the apartment people, and they like, listen, what's going on down here? The men like, I don't know, like this, nobody used this basement. I don't know. Now, at this point, they like, what the hell is going on? The apartment people are, okay, listen, I'm gonna give you a list of people that stay here. Now, the family like, I don't know these people. Then the best friend said, hold on, that's Chris. Chris is the dude that she started messing with. Y'all, this is part 2 about the Tamika Hudson case. Now, boom, they figured out it was Chris' apartment. Now, they like, okay, call Chris in. And they looking at Chris' records. This boy been in jail and all. So keep this in mind. When they went to Tamika's car or whatever, it was handprints. And they was like, okay, let's see if these handprints matches Chris. Whole time, y'all, it doesn't. So at this point, they don't have no evidence. They gotta let Chris go. They like, dang, we at a dead end. Until later on, towards the end of July, if I'm not mistaken, they get a call. If I'm not mistaken, it was Chris' wife or his ex-wife, one of those. She tell him like, hey, listen, I'm looking at his wallet and I see some blood on his little ID thing. I've been looking at this Tamika case. I know they've been messing around with each other. Listen, y'all come over here and y'all get the little evidence. You know what the police and detectives did? Maybe they shoot it over there and they say, okay, hand me the wallet. They got the wallet. Why does the blood matches Tamika blood? Yeah, so Chris, baby, you gotta come back in. But y'all, that's still not enough evidence because Chris was making up lies. They don't know if it was like old or new. They don't know. Now, towards the end of that year, a girl hit them up like, listen, I'm a 15-year-old girl. That day that Tamika had went missing, I was with Chris, and when I went to his apartment, it was blood everywhere. They said, what? So she describing everything. They go back to that same apartment because at this time, Chris had moved. They go back, how she described that house, y'all, everything that she described, she was correct. Why the blood at the crib, right, matched Tamika blood. Now, at this point, Chris, baby, you gotta come in. They call Chris in, hey, listen, you gotta come. So when they call Chris in, they like, Chris, what? Like, come on now. At this point, they steady interrogating Chris. Chris was like, okay, listen, I'm finna show y'all why I buried her at. They like, huh? Hold on. He take them out to a forest, and he was like, I left a mark because he had drew a cross sign. Why they found Tamika teeth? And they knew it was her teeth because her dental records. So they like, okay, what happened? So boom, that day Tamika went missing or whatever. He said that he was getting ready to go out with his friends. Tamika came over there demanding money. He was like, hell no, they get into a heated argument. He took the little iron and slammed her across the head. Well, he hit her across the head, my bad, y'all. He said there was blood everywhere. He tried to wrap her in some bed sheets, took her in the closet, put the dress over the closet. It was just too much, y'all. And then he went outside, come back in with the 15-year-old little girl. Now, y'all probably like, why the 15-year-old little girl didn't say nothing to him? Y'all, she was scared. She said, I didn't confront him. I just slept over there. He said, because she said it was just too much blood. She didn't want to say nothing at all. She didn't want to be his next victim. And I don't blame her, because what the hell? So, boom, the next morning, he said he took his friend's car or whatever, driving around with her body. They end up burying her. Then he said he threw her skull somewhere. Yes, y'all, her skull. Then took her car and just parked it anywhere. Then when it was time for him to go to court, why did he say he was not guilty? They said, hell no, baby, you sentenced for life. Yes, y'all, he's up in there for life, and I don't blame them.
Girl, the way she told that story, don't y'all wish news people told the story that way?
If y'all have,
That's the way to knock weeds out of your...
If an alien abducted me, took time out of his day, his or her day, to beam me up into a spaceship, just me, not anybody else in the neighborhood, I would make love to them, because that means I was chosen, special. They didn't just beam up Sally next door because she was out in her yard working. They beam me up out of my own bed as I'm relaxing, playing Candy Crush. So if they took the time to specifically pick me out of all these other humans that are around me, yes, I'll make love. That shows effort. Unlike these people on Tinder, who the only thing they want to do is scam me and catfish me and extort money from me. You never know. An alien might make such good love to you, you might fall in love with an alien. And I'm not opposed.
Girl, she waiting on that people touch them kids.
Hey, y'all, it's your girl B, and get in here because we gotta talk about this. This shit is crazy. If we haven't heard about this Carnival cruise trip from City Girl Tyler, like I said, it's the mess. And of course, I'm gonna break it down for y'all, and I'm gonna give y'all my opinion on it. I'm not gonna go into every little detail, but I'm just gonna sum it up for y'all real quick. So, part one of her story time, of course, she goes on a cruise, and just get down to it, she meets a boy. And in this story, she calls him Jay. So she gets his number, and he ain't get the Wi-Fi package on the boat, so he couldn't text her like immediately or whatever. He was like, I'll meet you up later because I ain't buying no Wi-Fi. Cool. She finds out he's from Delaware. They move on. Then on down the line, like later on, or I guess a few moments later, she meets another boy named who she called BJ, and she gets his number. He got the Wi-Fi, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna hit you up later. Now in her mind, she's like, what's the odds that I meet two dudes from Delaware? Like, they have to know each other. But she didn't think too much into it. She just went on by her day. So she ended up running into the first dude again, Jay. And he was like, did you see my cousin? You like his type. Like, I know my cousin. I know if he seen you, he would have blase. Like, you his type. Like, pretty much him and his cousin didn't talk, and they know they got this girl in common. But he trying to play it off like, oh, did you so happen to see my cousin? And she was like, she kind of got onto that, but didn't play too much into it. So boom, later on, she goes to the club. Okay, so right to whatever, she see him at the club, and in the story time, the way she telling it, she seems pretty geek. She's like, I walk to the club, I see both of my men. Like, she was having a good time. So BJ come up to her and he's like, listen, I'm finna leave. Like, I'm finna go take a shower, then I'm gonna hit you up. And so he leave, he go take a shower, then eventually he ends up hitting her up to come down to his room. As she called it, calling her to his chambers. In her story time, she seemed pretty excited to be called to his chambers, but I digress. So anyway, she make it to his room, they sit down, they talking or whatever. She like, not even 2 minutes into them talking, the boy's already trying to get in the drawers. So he like, what you trying to do? She like, what you trying to do? He like, what you trying to do? She like, what are you trying to do? Anyway, the plot come out, he trying to boom, and she like, nah, I'm not with that. So then he started talking about all this other stuff, and so she mentioned his cousin. He's like, who's that? So she knew that he was playing at this point, because like, nigga, first of all, if your cousin had sense enough to ask me about you, then I already know that y'all been talking, because how else would he know that you knew me? So that's when she found out that Jay was 28 and with the kid, and his kid was actually on the boat. So in her mind, she like, yeah, definitely a no. But what's so funny about this, because when she was mentioning his cousin, she was like the dude with the fake denim jacket or whatever. And so after he didn't get no coochie, BJ started talking down on Jay. Like, started talking down on him, trying to pillow talk for the coochie. But she was like, listen, to her it was weird, so she ended up leaving, and did not happen between them. Keep in mind, nothing happened between them. Not her and BJ, not her and Jay, nothing happened between none of them. So part 3 was really light work. There wasn't really too much to the story time besides the fact that some girl came up to her, was asking her about other influencers, and then that's when she found out that it was a rumor going around the boat that she got towed up. She got that cookie took. So she ended up running into BJ and was like, what's this rumor I hear about us? What's like, why am I hearing this? And he was like, oh, it's some other girl on the boat that's supposedly from Detroit or whatever that liked him. So when she saw them together, she started that rumor because she liked them. Please keep that in mind that he said that. Y'all have to keep that in mind that he said that. Now part 4 is juicy, because now we coming to the end of the cruise, and now she found out the whole ship know about this, because apparently most of the people that's on the ship are from the same place, because it's like a wedding that was going on. So like the wedding party and everybody, like their family, all them people was on this ship, and they so happen to have connection to the Delaware dudes. So now everybody knows about this. Dude's family talking about it, like it's a big mess. So she ended up running into BJ. He like, delete that video. And so I guess they were in Paris, and so she just gone on about her business. She didn't delete it. So later on, when he sees her, he like pulled her to the side. I think she said they go to his room. I'm not sure, but I know they were like talking, having a heart to heart or whatever. She said he was doing all that pretending heart to heart fake shit just to try to convince her again to delete the video. And obviously she didn't, because it's still up on her TikTok. So after all that talking, she go back to her room or whatever, because she really was like in her room a lot after she found out that the drama was like spread across the whole ship. She was kind of over it. So she went into her room, and her friend was like, girl, let's go get some seafood. Like, it's the last day. Let's go get some seafood on the 9th floor. So they go up there or whatever. Then y'all not know that Jay mama, the 28-year-old with the kid on the boat, his mama approaches her and like, are you the girl that made the story time? You the one who called my son jacket fake? Like, pressing this girl about the fake jacket comment to the point to where literally they family had to hold this lady back. So she's still in line to get the seafood, and this woman that came up and pressed her. And so while everybody's like talking about it, whatever, she realized that they family got on matching shirts. So it's a family member in front of her, and it was a family member behind her, but they didn't approach her or nothing like that. They just turned around and tell her like, oh, that's how she is about her son. Like, I guess telling her like not to take too much to it, like that's just her baby, so that's how she come about him. But come behind a 28-year-old like that, like that's crazy. He's 28. But she was basically like, y'all could have said like a female or somebody my age, and they was just like, or she was like, why couldn't he like ask me about it or address me about it? And basically his family was like, we don't do that in our family. We don't send men to take care of that type of business. But you gonna send your 50-year-old mama. Anyways, so she run into BJ again. And they talking or whatever. Or was it Jay? I'm not sure if it was BJ or Jay. So she ran into him again. I'm not sure if it was BJ or Jay she was talking to, but basically she's like, what's going on with this rumor that y'all ran a train on me? Because now the rumor that went from her and BJ doing something to she done got a train ran on her. This dude looked her in her face and said, oh, my mama started that rumor, and that's just how our mamas is. Basically was saying that this girl was room hopping. Like, that's what y'all mamas do. Like, and then he was like, where I'm from, that's what they do. Like, what? Basically, because we all know from the first time when, right after she left BJ room, and then she heard that they boom, 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 boom. We already know that these men started that rumor. Like, come on now. It's simple. It's easy to put together. And after all that, y'all, do y'all not know this girl took her silly ass back to chill with those men again? She went to chill with them again. Next thing you know, his uncle is talking about it like, oh, nigga, she said you ain't had no wife, or you ain't had no money to buy the wife. So she bust out like, oh, actually, I didn't say that. And the uncle didn't know it was her, so he confronts her about it. Next thing you know, she's surrounded by his family. His girl cousins is talking about her, pointing at her, but she said nobody ever addressed her. But my thing is, why the fuck would you go back around them? Why would you go back around?
She did it so you can talk about her 4-part series about this mess on this cruise. That's why she did it.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny. I'll go first. When I was 4 or 5 years old, I was left in the custody of my father, me and my brother was, because my mom went to prison. While we was living with my dad, he would just abandon us from time to time. He would leave us in his apartment for like weeks at a time, and I just knew how to, at 4 and 5 and 6 years old, take care of my brother and take care of me without needing an adult. I could just do it. And one time, during this time that he had been off on a bender, I go downstairs to take the trash to the dumpster. As I'm throwing the trash up in the dumpster, I hear something wrestling behind the dumpster. Now being in the world that I've been in, I knew not to look around and investigate to get my ass back upstairs. But I heard somebody go, psst, hey. And I turned around and I was like, yeah. And it was like, psst, hey. And I was like, hey. And they were like, hey, it's me, your mom, motherfucker. And I was like, oh, shit. And it was my mom. I had not seen her while. She looked a little different. I was like, what are you doing back there? And she said, is your dad up there? I said, nah, he ain't been here in weeks. She said, weeks? I said, yeah, he ain't been here in weeks. She was like, who you fucking up there with? And at the time, I was up there with my dad's girlfriend. And she had just stopped by just to check some shit out to make sure that we were good. And I was like, oh, Michelle's up there. She was like, all right. She was like, I'll be back. And jumps in his car with her friend Judy and flies off like her hair in the wind and everything. And shit was wild. So I go upstairs and I don't say nothing to neither of them. And we get ready for bed and we're laying down. Next thing I know, I hear a boom, boom, boom on the fucking door. I raise up real fast and I look at my brother and I was like, Mom's here. And as soon as I said that, the door flew off the fucking hinges. My mom, all I seen was the figure of my mom standing in the light of the apartment complex, and the fucking wind off the door, you could feel it blow her back, and I swear to God, she had a fucking cape on. She came in and kidnapped us, and she smacked Michelle in the face, and we were on the run for like 9 months, but yeah, she was like the good Batman. What's it?
Yeah, this is a major change from the Department of Transportation, and again, it affects your money. Take a look at this, because passengers must now get automatic cash refunds when a flight is canceled for any reason or delayed by more than 3 hours for domestic domestic flights, more than 6 hours for international. But there's more here. If the airline changes any of your airports, adds connections, downgrades your seat, or even changes the plane to one that's less accessible to those with disabilities, those are all new reasons for cash refunds. Also, the smaller issues, if your checked bags aren't delivered within as little as 12 hours or your Wi-Fi doesn't work, you're entitled to refunds there too, and you should get that money back within 7 business days. Now, I've got to tell you, though, this won't happen right away, and that's because the DOT says that airlines need some time to put it in place. There's a deadline, though.
We'll see how that works because airlines is constantly doing all this above.
This is something that we may never recover from.
The story of American tourists stranded in Turks and Caicos Islands.
I was like, guys, I'm so sorry. This was a complete innocent mistake.
Facing a 12-year prison sentence.
When I heard that, I immediately was terrified because I was like, we can't both be in prison for 12 years. We have kids at home. And this is such an innocent mistake.
Like, I had no idea that they were in there. I would have never, ever intentionally I had no reason to. We came here to vacation.
And to think that this is going to ruin us.
It's a heartbreaking story, and they share their warning for...
Girl, so they took some ammunition in their luggage, but Turks and Caicos don't play. The island's very strict on their laws, and yeah, very silly mistake.
25 and dead from a sinus infection that turned into bacterial meningitis. Y'all better stop letting them little colds get you. Bacterial meningitis, 25 years old, dead, and donated her organs to save 11 people. I can't fathom the story. Like, I just can't wrap my head around it. Like, a sinus infection turned to meningitis, and then the statement is that she couldn't be saved with all of these medications, antibiotics, and everything. The baby could not be saved. And now her organs live on. You know, well, she lives on in other people, but y'all better start going to the doctor.
Girl, she went to the doctor, they didn't save her.
Last week, the day it happened, I learned the identity of the attempted child molester that Seattle police mag dumped on and killed when he believed he was meeting a mother who would sit back while he used her 7 and 11-year-old daughters for sex. The ramifications of who this man is are massive, and I held on to this until now for the integrity of the investigation, as it's looking like there may be a trail of many more victims going back decades, and capital crimes may also be involved. And he may have been even more capable than most, as he was a high-ranking U.S. military official. I was able to capture his license plate the day of the shooting and then began a deep dive into who he was, where he's been, and to what level of power he attained as that military official. Here's what I will release now, as the coroner just released his name, but make no mistake, much more will be coming. I can only hope that the powers that once protected him will also not come into play to keep me from telling you, the public, about who he was. This is the 67-year-old general practice and emergency medicine doctor, husband, and high-ranking military officer who once oversaw Guantanamo Bay's emergency combatant medical operations under Presidents George Bush and President Barack Obama. His name was Bruce Menley. His official title at his peak was NATO Role 3 International Medical Unit Commander, and he retired as a captain in the Navy. I'm working through previous court cases he has had. I've been to his multi-million-dollar home in Kitsap County. I've also learned he was short-term renting out space on his property to unsuspecting people. I've also worked through more of his history and work career. As mentioned earlier, when I work on these types of things, what matters to me most is to not disclose anything that could harm the investigation. I'm only putting this out now as the coroner did release the mandatory death report, and at this point, the investigation is expanding rapidly. Just today, the U.S. Department of Justice agreed to pay $183.7 million court to settle its mishandling of Larry Nassar's massive sexual crimes against women and girls. As I go through this in the coming weeks, if it is found that people or institutions alongside of Menley turned a blind eye or aided in his protection, then I commit to you now to make sure that the public knows who they are. Last week, the day it happened, I learned the identity of the attempted child molester that Seattle police mag dumped on and killed when he believed he was meeting a mother.
That's crazy. And that was story. I hate that they're still not talking about that, because high-ranking military official, all this, and now it's just quiet as a mouse. Y'all keep safe out there. So good to be back. I had many more, but this will take all day. Y'all have an amazing day. Stay blessed, and just remember, if you're going through something, it's always a shiny side of the coin. I'll be praying for y'all. Y'all pray for me.